It was a bold statement from the provincial government. Ontario is banning cell phones in the classroom. However, the so-called ban isn't quite as clear-cut as advertised, allowing a fair bit of discretion for boards and teachers. Here on that and how they deal with students and their mobile devices, Jennifer Casa-Todd. She is a teacher librarian at Cardinal Carter Catholic High School in Aurora and author of Social Leadia, Moving Students from Digital Citizenship to Digital Leadership. Jamie Mitchell, a high school math teacher at Dr. Frank J. Hayden Secondary School in Burlington, currently spending the semester as an innovation coach at the Halton District School Board. And Sarah McCowell, a grade 8 teacher at Immaculate Heart of Mary in Stony Creek, Ontario, which is actually part of the city of Hamilton now.
Yes, it is.
And we are delighted, Oski, we are delighted to welcome everybody to our program tonight. I want to talk about how you deal with distracting cell phones in your class. What do you do about that?
Off the bat, we've gone through a couple of things and a couple of trials and tribulations with our students. At first, it was okay, we can have the cell phones out, we're going to use them to enhance our learning. And then came to a point, I teach grade 8, so there's always going to be, we've all been in grade 8, where you sneakily put it underneath your desk, and when I'm teaching a lesson, I see 13 kids like this. And obviously, it's not as subtle as it can be. We've now gotten to the point where you take them out for math, use it as a secondary device for, we're doing like Pythagorean theorem, so they need that scientific calculator. So use it for that, otherwise it's away. If I see it now, I do take it and then give it to my principal, and he holds on to it until parents can call in. Because it is an issue of kids bringing it to the bathroom, using their cell phone in the bathroom, taking pictures, and other things that we just don't tolerate in the school.
Jennifer, how distracting for your classes?
Well, we do something similar. So we use devices in the classroom all the time. I do personally in my teaching and in my co-teaching with other teachers. Mostly it's on the desk upside down if I know that we're going to be using it in a lesson. If we don't, if we're going to start off with a four corners or a conversation, then they stay in their bags until they need them.
What's four corners?
So strongly agree, strongly disagree, disagree.
Okay.
So conversations in the classroom.
Got it. Jamie, how about you?
I mean, I used to do, we have similar experiences. I used to confiscate them 10 years ago and bring them down to the main office, and kids' parents had to come pick them up. And I hated doing that, because it really burned with the relationships I was trying to build with those students. So I told them many years ago, put your phones on your desk. I know you're gonna text, I know you're gonna play a game, and when you do, we're gonna talk about it. If I'm teaching and I see you texting, I'm gonna interrupt my lesson and I'm gonna say, is this the appropriate time for you to be texting? And we're gonna build skills together.
And when you've done that for the 25th time, does it not get frustrating?
Some days it does, but I mean, it rarely gets to that point. If it does get to that point with an individual student, then there's different conversations happening.
You taught, I think I've got this right, grade 3 and 4 once upon a time?
Yes.
And now you're teaching?
Grade 8.
Grade 8. Grade 3s and 4s, I presume, did not have devices?
No, they did not, no.
And now this group does?
Yes.
Okay, how big a difference for you in terms of trying to deal with that?
It's expected. I expected that going into grade 8 because I was once in grade 8 and didn't have a cell phone at the time, but I expected with this generation that they were all going to have cell phones. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 who don't, but the majority do. And it is an issue with, it's because I know with the social component that they always feel the need to be in the loop with one another. So if I'm teaching a lesson, at this point in the year too, it's not that bad. Beginning of the year it was all the time out, put it away. Now I know they just want to talk to each other all the time. And if there's a conversation happening with a group of kids, they feel insecure in not knowing what they're talking about. So with that, them texting each other or Snapchat.
This is in class?
In class, yeah, sometimes.
Isn't that maddening for you? They're not listening to what you're trying to impart.
It's brutal. We do talk about it, and they've gotten much better. I don't want to make it seem like my children are, as they're listening to this, are awful. But it's this constant need. It's like it's an addiction. They're just constantly needing to touch it, have it on them. And we do, like you said, Jamie, it's a shame to take it, and I don't want them to feel like they can't trust me. And I do openly say, listen, if I see it, I'll put it away. I'm not going to give it to the principal, just keep it now. But then I see it again, I'm like, and now at this point, they're like, Miss, I get it. I'll get in contact with my parents. I'm fine with doing that.
Has your approach evolved over the years?
It certainly has. And for me, the most success has come with co-constructing those norms with kids. We co-construct how we behave in class. That now has become part of it, so that I'm not constantly having to, there are a few individuals for whom that is true. But because they're such a distraction, and because they're so ubiquitous now, at least in our school, that's even more a need to bring those conversations and those lessons into self-regulation as one of the learning skills in on the Ontario report card. That's about setting goals. So what I often often do is I've created a Google form where kids will set their own goals for their cell phone use. I've seen some teachers use rubrics. So we're all using different mechanisms in order to ensure that those life skills, which our kids need, the cell phones are not going away.
You don't obviously, Jamie, want to be the police officer in the class, but sometimes you have to be, and then what happens?
I mean, I would never call myself a police officer in class. I think I'm mentoring young adults, and part of that mentorship is teaching them how to use their devices appropriately. Conversations are great. Yes, I do take them away from time to time when a particular student can't handle it. But I'm more interested in working with students to help them build their own skills.
Go ahead,
I was
please.
just going to say, and all the research supports that. So adult mentorship is the only thing that will help with problematic media use. Yeah.
How many students you got in your class on average?
So I'm a teacher librarian. So on any given day, I might work with, 90 students or 30, depending on the.
How can you possibly police cell phone use in a room of 90?
You can't police it, and that's where
Okay, I keep
think
using that word. It's the wrong word, isn't it?
Co-constructing norms of behavior.
Yeah, okay. I want to share with you an email that came, when people discovered we were doing this, we got an email from a teacher named Anne Francis. She's letting us use her name. She teaches at Hawthorne School in the city of Toronto. It's a private school. They have banned all cell phone use during all school hours, not just in classes, all the time. Let me read what she sent to us. Cell phones and their myriad notifications are a vacuum-like distraction for all of us. Without them in the class, my students are more prepared to learn and to listen to me. Science tells us that the best way for things to stick in our brains is if we are paying total attention. When students are distracted, checking their phones, they are simply not retaining the concepts being taught. There are also benefits outside of class. At lunch hour, for example, students will play volleyball with each other instead of having their heads buried in their phones. Now, I got to ask, do you think it would be better just to ban them outright?
I read this in the email, but I had a reflection because I remember being in gym class and one of my students had their phone out and I had just taken it to it's mine now. And he got to actually enjoy gym and he was playing with his friends, and when the kids are outside actually playing and not burying their faces in this phone, it's like pure joy again. They get to be kids instead of constantly exposing themselves to this like social media posts where these expectations that the world and society has of them that they're not old enough to fulfill yet, and they're constantly feeling inadequate, and they're constantly finding this escape where they can shut down from what's being told or what's happening around them, go to this virtual world. By taking that away, they can just be kids again. And and I know in our school, it's just nice to see the grade 8s actually interact with one another and play and genuinely smile at things that they should be smiling about.
That's the thing, Jennifer. I get worried that these kids are losing the ability to relate to one another, to have conversations with one another, because they're all in their devices.
And I think I'm as concerned about that as anyone else. And certainly Howard Reingold, who's a social media professor at Berkeley, talks about attention and how important that is. If you look at the global competencies that the Ministries of Education of Canada have put out, every single one of those competencies include technology. So we have to figure this out. Yeah. But the other really interesting thing is that one of the competencies is learning how to learn. So now, what I need to do is draw to my students' attention, when are you writing something longhand versus not, and what impact does that have on your learning? Because that's something that they're going to need. My other question with that is, that's a private school, so I'm going to assume, she's not here, so I don't know, but I'm going to assume they have one-to-one devices. We don't. We have shared devices. I need cell phones on any given day.
Let me just understand that. You assume that there's sort of one iPad per student
one
supplied
iPad
by
or
the
computer.
school.
So they may not be looking at a cell phone. They've banned cell phones, but I would assume they're still using technology for instructional
iPads,
reasons.
computers, whatever.
And we at my school use them because we don't have enough devices.
Okay.
And that's an issue.
Do you think, Jamie, that a total ban on even bringing them to school at all makes sense?
It doesn't make sense to me. It would totally disrupt how I lead my classes every day, which is asking students to do their own work on their own devices, be it a cell phone or a laptop or an iPad. I think the line between what makes a computer and what makes a cell phone has disappeared. Everything I can do on my cell phone, I can do on my computer, and vice versa. And I think, especially if a parent sends their child to school with that device to be used as their device, we'd be doing them an injustice if we don't let them learn how to use it.
Can you imagine trying to effect a cell phone ban at a school?
I don't want to.
Imagine what the impact of that would be.
Well, and my husband is an administrator, so I'm wondering who's doing the policing. He is already so, his day is spent helping kids be safe and supporting teachers. Where in his day is he going to be able to add this to his list of things to do?
The notion, though, Sarah, that you can actually teach 13-year-olds, you're dealing with 13-year-olds now?
13, 14.
The notion that you can teach them when it's appropriate to use a cell phone and when it's not appropriate to use a cell phone is something that I suspect a lot of people watching this right now are going to conclude is impossible. Can you really do that?
I think you can. I think just opening that discussion and having that rapport with students, because we are partners in learning and they are just as much part of this journey as we are. And I feel like we're just constantly fighting this technology that's out there, which is so very useful. And if we had the proper training with kids and just told them, listen, a cell phone is very important to use. It can help you with your studies. You just have to use it this way. And maybe by knowing and understanding their technology as not just a social media platform or a place where they can express themselves, it's also a studying device that they can go, okay, this is also useful. And if we know, it's like, we're always gonna be afraid of things we don't generally understand. And by opening up the gates and having that conversation with students, say, let's work together to use the cell phone respectably to enhance our learning, how can we do that? I think we can do that.
Do you think, Jamie, in your experience, that you are able to break through to young people to say, here's when you can, here's when you can't, and they actually follow that lead?
Yeah, it takes time and depends on the age of the student as well. It's a little bit harder to do when I'm teaching grade 9 versus grade 12. But there have been lots of opportunities in my practice when I've been able to talk to students about, we're going to do some research and collect some data, and one of the ways you can do that is to Google it. And let's Google it, and now we can go deeper into what we're learning about because we have access to the internet at our fingertips.
Jennifer, how about you?
My question is, if we're not helping our kids understand that these powerful devices in their pockets are learning tools, where exactly are they going to get that?
Yeah.
They're learning tools, but they're distraction tools as well.
They are. But again, if in our classroom, for example, at the beginning of the lesson, students will respond to a prompt, and then we have a conversation about it. Now, every student's voice has been heard. We say, all right, now let's have this conversation. Phones down, and we have this conversation. So I've essentially shown them that they can contribute to a class discussion, their ideas, but we are now going to put our phones down because it's important that we have a conversation.
How disheartening is it for you when you give that very nice speech and then you catch that person at the back of the class playing, what is it, Candy Crush or something like that at the same time?
One of the men.
How disheartening is that for you?
It's disheartening, but I know that it's an important conversation to have. Again, if this is happening over and over and over again, as Jamie suggested, we need to have a different set of rule. We need to contact parents. We need to say, do you know that this is happening? And what's going on? Maybe I need we need to do something a little bit differently. And what does the student say? How is the student responding to this, right? So what do you need to learn?
What do you do when you catch that person at the back of the class playing a game when they're supposed to be paying attention to you?
I haven't had that yet where I'm doing instructional, but I do see the odd this. So I'll just rotate around the room, tap that child in the back and just gesture this way. I've had it where in class they're doing a work period, it comes up more often, where they'll be behind a book and they'll be texting or whatever. I just take it and say, you know the rules, I'll put it on my desk, and then they just come back and say, Miss, I'm very sorry, I didn't mean to, just want to check my stuff. So at this point in the year too, I do trust them, and I have had that conversation, and they know that the next step is that I just give it to the principal, because I know that they're just abusing the technology they have.
Does that tap on the back and the little thing with your hand, that gesture, how often does that work?
All the time. They just get embarrassed, they put it away. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's...
when they're busted, they fess up and they're
Yes, they're
figuring it
very
out.
respectful in that regard.
And one of the things that has transformed, I guess, the way I do it is I now will say to a student, is that device helping you or distracting you right now?
That's a good point.
Because so many times the students will say, actually, it's helping me, I'm just doing this on Google Classroom. Whereas if I take that confrontational, what are you doing? Often the student has said, but actually, miss, I'm doing this. So is this device helping you or distracting you? And they are coming to an understanding. Now, if I've asked you that question 3 times, what are we doing about that?
And
What's your experience?
I've noticed the same thing. As soon as I stopped confiscating and being the police of the cell phones, the number of times students used it to be distracted went down. As soon as I said, I expect it to be on your desk, and I expect you to tell me what you're doing on it when you're using it, they stopped getting as distracted.
Interesting.
And I think, like Jennifer said, we need to teach students how to not get distracted. We need to teach them how to drive a car without checking their phone, because who else is going to teach them that, right? That we owe it to them to help teach them those skills.
Do you ever, Jamie, have a student come to you and say, you know what, I have to fess up, I am addicted to my phone and I need your help to help me bust my addiction?
Yes.
That does happen.
Yeah, and I wonder if they know what the word addicted really means. I think we have to break down what they're saying, and they're probably saying I'm getting distracted too much. Maybe they are truly addicted, and of course we work with them, and I will say every time you come into class, just put it on my desk, right? And when you need to check it, we'll check it together, right? But I think a blanket policy for every single student in the room isn't the thing that will help address this. I think it needs to be individual.
You don't have that at your,
No.
they're too young at your stage.
They're too young to confide that deep of a secret to me.
That they might be addicted.
They might be addicted
How
to
about
the
you?
phone.
So one of the things that I do, every grade 10 careers class comes through the library, and we have a conversation about how do you leverage technology and social media for your career. And so one of the questions I pose is, your cell phone is meant to be distracting. It's designed to be that way. Therefore, it can hurt your career. Agree, strongly disagree. And inevitably, I've got a divided classroom where some students are advocating for how important it is that they learn how to leverage social media, because social media is now a job that they can have. And others say, but I'm always distracted doing my homework. Of course I'm going to be distracted in a career. And then having them talk to each other about the strategies that they use, that is so powerful.
Let me play a clip before we run out of time here. MIT psychologist Sherry Turkle, from an edition of The Agenda in 2016, she was asked to consult for a school in upstate New York because they were having cell phone problems. Roll it, please.
I was called in by the dean, by the faculty to consult, because what they were finding is that students were so much relating to each other through their texts and through their messages and through social media, that they were losing the capacity really to look at each other and to apologize, to read each other, to empathize with each other, and really almost being cruel without meaning to be cruel, because they were not picking up on the signals from other children. One comment I think that the dean made was that 12-year-olds play on the playground like 8-year-olds. And she was frightened. She hadn't seen that.
I found that such a sad commentary on our times, but I'm wondering, in the couple of minutes we've got left here, I saw you nodding the whole time that clip was playing.
Well, it's interesting to watch my kids talk to one another and ask a question, and then they'll just do this and answer each other back while they're messaging. And it's like they're not they will ask someone how they're feeling or how something's going, and then they'll distract themselves with their phone and have that almost like not that they don't care, just an automatic retreat to something more interesting than what their friend is confiding in them. And it happens all the time. And I don't know if they realize that or if they do realize that, but I feel like they don't, because I know I sometimes do that in conversations or so on and so forth.
Jennifer, when you saw that clip?
Empathy, kindness, compassion, those need to be modeled and practiced. So what she says is exactly why we need to do that in classrooms.
Explicitly. Yeah, exactly the same thing. We need to be mentors to our young students, and we need to model the behaviors we want to see. When I teach, I have students working in groups of 3, random groups of 3 every day, different people every day, and the very first thing I make them do is introduce each other so they know each other's names, right? Very simple, look each other in the eye, yes, put your phone away, this is how we behave in groups, this is how adults work together, and modeling that always with them.
I can say categorically, I wish I had one of the 3 of you as teachers. Not that I didn't have fabulous teachers, I did, but you 3 are terrific. Great to have all of you on TVO
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
having us. Yeah.
The Agenda with Steve Bacon is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario, helping businesses stay on the right side of change with strategic thinking, insightful decisions, and business leadership. Are you on the right side of change? Ask an Ontario CPA.